Hello and welcome to Tonic Studios. I'm Leo and I'm here today to show you how to build the heart layering lace box. So this box is very similar. If you remember the boxes that we had previously, that would be the floral and hexagon layering lace that we had not too many months ago, and it's built in pretty much the same way. So I'm going to run you through exactly how we're going to put this together, and I'm going to start with the base. It's all about that base, as we all know. So I have 3 of the base side panels, which look like this. So you've got your glue tabs top and bottom, one down the side and a score in the centre. I've already put my layers onto just 2 of them. There is a good reason for that, I promise. For those then, I also have 2 bases. So this is going to be the heart shape that has the dotted edge, which should help you to identify it on your die set. And I've got one of these in a 300 GSM and one of them in a 216. And then I have 2 of that same heart layer. So again, one with the dotted edge. And this time I've cut the next heart size, the second heart size down into it. And this is going to form that kind of inner rim that helps the box hold its shape. And again, I have one of these in a 300 GSM and one of them in a 216. I can get away with this because this one is going to be hidden inside the box. That one's going to be the one that you actually see. Same with the base. It just helps to add that extra bit of structure and rigidity to the box without having to do any extra craziness. So we do recommend that if you are using, say, a 216 or even, as I've done with this one, using our patterned paper, add in that extra little bit of structure with a slightly heavier weight cardstock. So with my 3 panels, for this one only, I'm thinking about this now, if this is right. No. Leave that one straight and leave that one straight. So I've got my V. Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that right? These will end up curved though, won't they?
Only slightly.
You know, when you've not actually built this for many, many months, and I'm sure we tell you this all the time, I would have thought that one would go around there, because then you want a curve and a curve.
No, you're easier to fold in the one, put in the fold line in the centre of the heart.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. So fold that to put that in there.
No.
So I'd have my glue tab there.
Yeah.
So, and isn't it helpful? If you need a Mammy Alley in your craft room too, just send us a message and we can send one over. That's absolutely fine. So I'm going to, but then I'm going to have to try and curl this, because that's going to be this part of my...
Yeah, it's only a slight curve.
That's why I haven't put them on, you see. Or well, when I say I mean my lovely friend Karen that made my prep pack for me has done this. Okay, so I'm going to definitively score that crease line because that is going to be on the point of my heart, so I want that to be nice and crisp. So this is pretty much, if I lay this out, you can see how this is going to go together. So I'm going to have one there and one there, like so. And then this one, you've got a tiny bit of curve here. And then this one, you're going to have the score line of the centre sit in the middle of that heart, because otherwise you'd have a glue tab in there. So I guess it's up to you, whichever way you feel is best. This is how I'm going to do it because Mammy Ali told me. So let me glue this together.
That's how I found it easier to make.
Okay. We shall see now. So if I glue all the way along my glue tab, if you can hear the rain currently thundering outside the studio, I do apologise. It is quite the disgusting day here in Wales today. Welcome to a Welsh winter, or spring, or summer, or autumn. Pick your season.
Any day.
Yeah. Okay, I want that to be glued together very, very firmly. So I'm going to want to put a tiny bit of curve into these 2 panels, yeah? Mm-hmm. I did make one of these, didn't I? So
Yes.
I'm just going to roll. So if this is going to be the point of my heart, I just want to roll this top edge of just this one panel. So I don't want to bend on this score line. I want that to stay straight. And I just want to add a bit of movement just to this panel, and the same on this side, so on that part of that panel, because that is where my heart shape starts to kind of round off. So you're going to start kind of breaking down the fibres, and I find this easiest for such a wide panel like this, just to run it over the edge of the desk, because then you don't end up with a weird line up the middle. Because if you, I find if I try and do it like this, if you can see where my bone folder sits in there, I don't have enough strength to have enough control on my bone folder all the way up here, so it's going to sit here and you'll end up with kind of like a weird crease in the middle. So I find doing it this way for such a wide panel is just easier. And for this I probably would recommend gluing your panels on afterwards, which my lovely friend thought I was creasing this one for the point, you see, which is why she put my panels on for me. But apparently we did not do it the Mammy Alley way. Okay.
You knows my way or the highway.
Absolutely. We've been told. Okay, I'm going to glue this on. And I'm also going to want to put a curl into this as well, aren't I? And sharply crease that too. Okay. I can do that. So
I found it easier to have the curve right into the V of the heart. To have the fold line, sorry, right into the V.
That makes sense.
You're not battling with join lines then.
So just make sure that is very firmly pressed down. And this one then I'm going to want to fold that way. See? Everyone saw the confusion on my face then, I'm sure. So I'm folding that one backwards because that is going to be the cleft of my heart, let's call it that. Yeah?
Look here with the words.
Yeah. And then we'll give these a bit of a curve in exactly the same way, just running them over the edge of the desk. It's just really to help break the fibres slightly. You're not actually going to hold the shape, but once you've started to break down the fibres, they're going to be easier to bend. Okay. So now I'm going to join this. Yes, I am going to join this. And I've just noticed this is not stuck down firmly enough just yet. So I want to make sure that is well pressed in, and this one as well. I have no popping joins today. Thank you very much. So yes, I am going to join my glue tabs because I'm going to press in then my top ring. Yeah, this is just how I did the flower one. It's exactly the same. There's nothing different. It's just a different shape. This is why you all come back to watch our makes, isn't it? To see how much we've remembered from when we did these for packaging. Okay.
In all fairness, we've done a lot of projects in between.
We have said we're going to start filming these much more ahead of time, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
So that we remember, and we're not talking to ourselves about how on earth we put them together. Okay, firmly pressing that glue tab in as well. Being kind to my glue. So while I'm being kind to my glue, you can hopefully see how this is now going to start forming my heart shape, like so, or like so, depending on which way around we're going. I'm going to start bending in all of these tabs. We're going to be needing those. And for this we are going to do an innie-outie. So one layer inside the glue tabs and then one layer over the top. Again, it gives you that extra strength and structure. It means that your project is going to just hold that a little bit better.
And you don't see any workings then?
Yeah, you don't get that kind of weird edge. It helps to pull everything in. So I'm going to start, and we always start with the strengthening ring for the top of the box rather than putting the base on first, because if you do that it's very hard then to get into it. trust me. Been there, done that. So I'm going to start in the cleft because that is going to be the hardest bit to get to stick. I was thinking then, do I want a bit of tape? But Mammy Ali is here, so no, I'm not going to use any tape. I'm going to do it properly. I'm going to be a good girl. So I'm going to put some glue onto the 2 tabs that are going to go either side and the 2 next to them. First of all, I've got my stronger, so my 300 GSM I'm going to put in. So this is the one that's going to be underneath that you're not going to see. So effectively this is going to be the top of my box and this is going to be inside underneath, so you're not going to see it. So I'm going to tuck this in. And the good thing about this being 300 GSM, even though we've cut out obviously the centre of it, it still has quite a bit of strength to it, so it's not going to get too smushed when I hold the entire shape of the box by it. Okay, lay that into there, and then I'm going to press. This is going to be really hard for me to try and demonstrate because it's quite a long way down here. I am going to press those 2 tabs and that kind of point right into the point at the top of the heart. I don't know if I can let go of this just for a second, so hopefully you can see down in the top of there that I've got that meeting, so the point is right in that very sharp point at the top of the heart, and I'm just literally going to hold these tabs and I am not going to move because we're going to be very kind to our glue today. It's still cold in the studio because we've literally only just switched the heating on, so we're going to give it time.
It is warm.
That's why my fingers may look a little blue on camera.
It's not just the nail varnish.
It's not just the nail varnish. Not today. Okay, no, still holding. I'm not letting go for a while. I'll just make sure that I haven't stuck it to the glass mat. I'll do that, Matt. Okay. So we can just talk amongst ourselves about how we must be kind to our glue and our glue tabs and all of that. Once you're happy that you think that that has held firmly, so I can show you now, I've just got these 4 tabs here either side, but I've got that tucked nicely into that point in there. So now it's just a question of putting glue on all of the rest of the glue tabs and pressing this into this shape. So I'm going to speed this bit up because it is going to take a while and you are going to get very bored.
You can do the bottom as well at this point, couldn't you? The point of the heart.
Oh, that would be risking it. You could, but then it would be more difficult to get all of these in, I think. Because you wouldn't be able to press in from this side, you'd be
that's true.
Pressing this way. So I would say do all of this one before we go into the base. On this occasion, it's not all about that base.
No, not the base. The
bottom.
That
oh, that bit there. I see. I mean, you could do.
So you're anchored in 2 points then.
Okay, you being smart with your ideas today. Okay.
Know.
Well, we'll do that, and then we'll do the rest of the glue tabs. I should have just let you build this.
It's fine.
Okay, poke those in. So again, excuse my big hands being in the way. I'm going to hopefully press them in very quickly. So you can see I've now pressed that right into the crease there. And I'm going to press and hold this, and then I'm going to go around the rest of my glue tabs and put them all into place as well. So I have my strengthening ring in the inside of there. So now I'm going to do the reverse basically on the base, but I can't drop this in from the top obviously. So I'm going to put this in first, like so. And then I'm going to go around and fold down all of my glue tabs. And I have put the nice side in of my cardstock. If you want, you could put your classic layer in first for this, if you wanted to have classic on the inside and then your 300 on the outside, whichever way you prefer. So just going to go around again, bending all of my glue tabs down. Just give them a nice pinch, make sure they've got a nice flat edge on them, because of course this is going to be the edge of your gift box, so you want it to look nice and neat and finished. So I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to pull back up these top 4 here around the point of the heart, the cleft, whatever you want to call it. Put glue onto those 4. And then when I flip this over, the base is going to fall down to where it needs to go. And I'm going to pull this into place again, pushing that right into that point. And then pressing the base onto the glue tabs. It's so hard for me to show you this, but hopefully you're understanding what I mean. So I'm trying to make sure that this point here is as far into that kind of little V in the top of the heart as possible, and then I'm putting pressure from above onto those glue tabs to press it into place. Now that we're slightly, no, I was going to say now it's slightly warmer in here, that's going to hold much quicker. No, it did not. Okay, we'll give it a bit more. I mean, to be fair, my glass mat is still quite cold. Okay, I'm going to very swiftly turn it over. I'm going to pull up the 4 tabs around the point. Add some glue onto those. And with these you want there to be enough glue to go from the top to the bottom of the tab, but you don't want too much, because if you put too much glue on it goes kind of soggy and then it also won't stick. There's definitely a happy medium when it comes to how much glue you're applying. So again, I'm just pressing this point of my layer into this nice sharp crease where my fold is, and just pressing that down onto those glue tabs and praying they stick nice and quickly. Okay, that one's looking good. So then I'm going to flip it over, I'm going to pull up all the rest of the glue tabs, put glue in them and press them into place. My base inside the box. I've got my strengthening ring in the top, so I'm going to flip this over and glue on then my second base, which is going to hide all of those workings, make it all nice and neat at the bottom. So with this, because we've got a dotted edge, I would say not to go right to the very edge with your glue, because you don't want it to come through those dots. As long as you are sandwiching enough of the glue tabs in there, it will be absolutely fine. And then a good bit of glue right the way across the middle, because you do want to sandwich everything together, stop it pinging out. Again, that kind of adds to the strength of the finished gift box for you. Helps to keep everything nicely lined up. So smooth it into place, and then the best thing to do is to flip it over and go in from underneath and really press those layers together right the way over the surface. and then I have my second ring to go around the top. Again, that's going to sandwich in my glue tabs, just neaten everything up on the top, finish that off. So we do exactly the same thing, just glue up to that dotted line, but not over it preferably. Don't want to end up with a sticky top, because that will mean then that your lid could potentially stick to the base, which you definitely don't want. I mean, I know your gifts are meant to be hard to get into, but maybe not that hard. You want people to actually be able to get to their gift at the end of the day.
They may think it's an empty box otherwise.
It's a stunt gift box. It's not what we're after. Okay, press that in all the way across. Obviously being much kinder to your glue than I am, because I can see that pinging in my peripheral vision all the way around. Okay, so that is the base of the box done, basically. I'm going to add on my decorative layers. So again, I'm going to give these a bit of a curve, but I need to think about this because they don't go this way, they go this way on the box. So I want to put the curve in, going across that way. And it had to be a lot of brain smarts going on there again. So I'm just going to run all of these just over the edge of my desk. Again, this just helps to glue them on. With this, I've made the base of the box from classic cardstock, so 216 GSM. Because you are adding curves, I would say go for a lighter weight. I would definitely not recommend you try and make this from a 300. You are never going to get that to curve nicely.
No.
Obviously, adding layers on adds to then the weight of the box and the cardstock that you are putting together. I would also advise caution in terms of the layers that you use, because you may find that some things are easier to curve than others. So like a heavy mirrored cardstock or a glitter you may find is more difficult to bend than say a classic cardstock or even a patterned paper. But give it a try. It might be that what you have bends a little easier, and maybe you can get it to do the nice curve that you need. So I'm just adding some dots of glue around this. This is especially important when you have a panel that you're gluing onto a curved surface. You want to make sure that it is anchored in more points than you normally would, so that none of it kind of pings or bows anywhere. You don't want that. And I'm just going to check which direction my pattern is going. It is in that direction. Good, good. Okay. So make sure you've got a nice even border for your layers. And then keep going with the rest of them. Okay, so I have all of my panels onto my base. So I'm going to put this to one side and we're going to start on the lid, which is pretty much the same process again. So I have 3 of my lid side panels and I have 2 of my lids. I don't know what they would be. Lid tops, something along those lines. So this time I just have both of them out of 216 GSM because it is a much smaller side panel. We don't need the same kind of strength that we did for the base. Now you will notice that you've got a scalloped edge and a glue tab edge, and they look very similar on here. Hopefully you can see that I do have a score line along this side and I don't have a score line on here. So this is my nice pretty scalloped edge for my lid, and these are actually the score lines for my glue tabs. I'm going to fold them myself this time before I put anything together, because I am concerned I'm going to forget which is which and glue them together wrongly. If I'm perfectly honest, I couldn't fully see that happening. So
make sure your gluing tab is always on the same side.
Exactly. So your glue tab should be on the left. If it's not, you folded your scalloped edge, not your glue tabs. And I've done that one just a little too far. There we go. So I'm just going to pinch all of these down all the way along.
It's quite therapeutic though, isn't it, when you've got them all to pinch?
Yep. Pinch, pinch, pinch. So I'm going to do exactly the same for the lid that we did on the base. So I'm going to have my glue tab join at the front. Do I want to join at the front, or do I want to? Yes, I do. I do. So I'm going to fold this glue tab back. Make sure it's nice and crisp, since that is going to be the very point of our heart. And I'm going to join my next panel onto that.
Sounds like a very large piece of machinery is moving around outside.
There's a lot of big noises outside today. We don't even do a container, so it's not even that.
No.
Okay.
We do have a lot of other warehouses around us though.
We do, we do. And they have a lot of very heavy machinery going in and out of them too. And then this glue tab, I'm actually going to leave this one. Let me think, where's this going to end up being? So if that is the join, yeah, I'm going to leave these two just straight. Join those two together as well. And again, you're going to want to press these from underneath to make sure that all of the surface of your glue tab is nicely joined together. And then lastly, we're going to pop this all around, close the, I was going to say circle, but it's not a circle obviously. Well, no, it is a circle at the moment.
It is.
And then it will become a heart.
Do you have some nice gifts for your special person to pop in there?
Yeah, do you already have ideas of who you're going to be gifting this to?
Because it doesn't have to be your Valentine's, does it? It could be your Galentine's or your Palentine's.
Yep. Could be anybody. Anybody you love with your whole heart.
But I also think this is a nice one for Mother's Day as well.
Very much so. Very good for Mother's Day. Okay, so I now have a teardrop. I'm going to press this glue tab, so the exact opposite of the point of my heart is where my heart cleft is going to go. So I'm going to fold this glue tab back the other way, and again I want a nice crisp fold on that one. Then it is a question of just adding that slight curve, which we can do with our fingers for this because it's such a little layer. I like that. Okay, and I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to start by gluing my 4 glue tabs into the cleft and then the 4 tabs in the point, and then go around and do the rest. So let's get some glue onto these first of all. Now I can see a lot of nice chocolates in this, obviously, but also like a nice scarf or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe some handmade soap.
Yes.
Or bath bombs if you are that way inclined, if you can make things like that.
I tell you what I could also see is if you put some Oasis in there and filled it with roses.
Oh, that would be lovely.
They don't have to be real roses.
No.
They can be silk roses, paper roses.
I'm sure we have sold you plenty of flower dyes in the past. that you could make a whole host of flowers and stick them in. Maybe some rolled flowers in there if you've got any of those.
If you had the bouquet last year, you've got lots of flowers in that selection.
That'd be really nice. Okay, those 4 are now stuck. Let's get these bottom 4 down.
And if you kept that, another idea,
Uh-huh.
if you kept that on the smallest layer that fits into that circle, that heart, sorry, you could put a gift underneath it, attach a little bit of pull-in ribbon to the flower layer, so you can't even see your gift when you open the box.
Doubly hidden. I like that
Yes.
idea.
Because you've got such a big layer to that box.
Mhm. Yeah, that'd be really lovely. And of course, I know a lot of us have talked about this recently. If you can't take fresh flowers into someone because they're in a hospital or something like that, be a lovely way of taking some flowers to someone.
It would.
But of course, don't forget that if you don't want such a deep gift box, you can also use the sides that came with the floral or hexagon, and you can make this a much shallower heart-shaped box if that's what you wanted. You do have that option as well.
And you've got decorative panels to match the corresponding height then, haven't you?
Yep, exactly. We've given you plenty of options. Okay, so exactly as I did with the base now, I'm just going to lift up the rest of my tabs, pop glue in them, and glue my lid together. So there is the lid first layer on. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to then glue my second one directly over the top. Again, hiding all of my workings, sandwiching those glue tabs, keeping them nicely wedged in. Now we did say, or Mummy Ali said, that this would make a nice little tray for chocolate. So if you didn't want to make the whole base, you could just make the lid. Maybe put it into like a cellophane display. You could even put little divider segments into it if you wanted to make it into like a proper little truffle tray. Or like one of those old-fashioned chocolate boxes.
I can also see 3 circles there, those if you were making homemade biscuits.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They would fit in there nicely. Obviously check the size of your cutter first.
Yes. Little biscuits.
Yes.
We're not talking like fat New York cookies here.
Oh heck no. Well.
You can make miniature ones.
Little
Or just have like one stack of them in the middle.
Or even make heart ones that fit there.
Or even make heart ones that fit there. Oh, I like that idea the most, I think.
One big fat cookie in there.
So there is my lid. I do have some decorative layers to go onto the lid as well. My lovely Prep Pack cutting friend has cut these for me. So this is using the heart layering lace set and all of the beautiful layers that come with that. So
it's a lovely layering set for card making as well.
It is.
Or even in your memory box if you're doing a wedding album. Because you've got a couple of different sizes as well.
Yes. Yeah, you've definitely got options with this one. So let's get that first layer into place. Like so. Everything got me next. Look, she's layered them up for me and everything.
Oh,
she's so good to me. Glue around the edge, not too close, you don't want to squeeze out the edges when you glue it all together. So There's my next layer going down. Like so, if you need to turn it over and press from underneath, you don't want to mash your scallops if you can possibly avoid it. And then the next layer, probably I would have got some foam pads out by now, but honestly I don't have any to hand and I have a bottle of glue. So we're going with flat layers today. But you can absolutely add more height by using foam pads to add to one or more of these layers. Bring them up that little bit. And that one is on mirror, so I'm going to do this very carefully and hope that it doesn't slide. No, we're good. I had to double check then. And then last but no means least, we do have a whole host of sentiments, but for this one we just have this teeny tiny little heart. I'm going to sit into the centre, like so. Give that a few seconds to dry. And of course you do have layers that you can put onto the edge of your lid if you want to. They are all in the side panel die set that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head, but you have your heart layering die set and then you have the side panel die set that gives you these panels and the decorative panels go with them for your base and your lid.
You could also put a ribbon around the lid.
You could.
Put a bit of tape.
Nice bit of tape all the way around here. Stick your ribbon on. You could tighten a nice bow at the front. Something along those lines. But there we go. There is my finished heart layering lace box. You can see just how deep that gift box is there as well. So if I bring in the previous one as well, so you can see the depth of that. So of course you can now make your flower shaped box deeper, or you can make your heart shaped box shallower, depending on what kind of gift you're wanting to give, and the same goes for your hexagonal box as well. I hope that has given you lots of hints and tips on how to put this together. We can't wait to see how you make yours, so please do tag us in your makes over on our Facebook page so we can have a look and check those out. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you again very soon. Happy crafting!